Hello, 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 and welcome back to the podcast. I can't even open this podcast without the hello, 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 because I've heard the kids like it, and now I've heard the adults like it. Apparently, it's my little trademark. Okay, you guys, if you are enjoying these podcasts, I would very much appreciate if you give me a 5-star review, if you share them. Whatever it is that you do, I would appreciate it. All right. Today, I want to continue with information that I got from Think Tank and things that have been inspired for me to talk about. And one of those things that we talked about at Think Tank, and that was presented on a colleague of mine, just had a great one-liner. And he said, premium is not the problem, it is the solution. And it is absolutely crazy how many people I talk to that say that, oh, that's too much premium. Oh, I'm going to be insurance poor. So many people read the book and think, well, I don't have enough money, or I don't want to put $100,000 a year into a policy, right? Well, it doesn't mean you have to put $100,000 a year in. It means that we're going to start where it is comfortable to start. And if that is $3,000 a year, it's $3,000 a year. If it's $100,000 a year, it's $100,000 a year. And just this week, I had somebody that I talked to a couple years ago. He had another meeting with me, and he's trying to compare it to the market and trying to compare rates of return. This is not an investment. I don't know how many times I have to explain that. This is not about rates of return. It's about liquidity, control, guarantees, and uninterrupted compound interest. That's what this is about, amongst other things, right? Nelson had all kinds of other things that he was talking about in his book, which I feel like I am constantly having to go back to because people are not wanting to reread it. Even I have to go back and I have to reread, and I have to be, kindly reminded of things as we go. However, he said, well, he's trying to compare it to the market, but he said, I think I'm just going to start with like $6,000 a year. That's not a big deal to me, except the guy uses like $500,000 of cash to operate, buys everything on cash, just basically has no loans except they have a land loan, but he has a lot of income coming in from rental land that he has in other areas. And he just wants to start with peanuts. And I'm going to say peanuts in this scenario because there is more money to start with. People say when they put small amounts of premium in, they will come back to me and they will say, well, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. You're putting a small amount in and you could afford more. If your expectations are greater, that means we're making more money, right? Because it's all relative. Small premiums to somebody that's struggling to get started and doesn't have a lot, they are happy and content with what they've got. Small premiums to somebody that's making a really large income, that's a whole different story. And I remember Nelson said this to me one time. You put peanuts in and you get peanuts out. Okay, that's great if all we have to plant is peanuts. I am not saying there is anything bad about it. I start small policies all the time. But this leads us back to the fact that if we have a large amount of money and we're working with a large amount of money and you're putting peanuts in and you don't think it's good enough, it's because we have a broken thought process. The premium is the solution, not the problem. Is the premium going to be the instantaneous solution? No, it's not. It's not. It's not going to be this rocket thing that you're going to have access to all of this money and all of this compounding overnight. It's not. Is premium the solution long term? It is. Because of the compounding, because of the fact that we got to use that money today and for the next 15, 20, 30 years, whatever it is, that is your lifespan. We got to use that money the whole time. It was growing the whole time. We provided death benefit alongside of that. We have to change our thought process. And I have people And I am very conservative. Very, very conservative. I don't care if you guys want to reach out to 3,500, 200, 300 of my clients. I don't care. Reach out to them. They will all say the same thing. Mary Jo did not put too much premium in a policy for us. Why? Because I know you could have a really bad year. I also talked to a guy this year, young guy, he could totally do $20,000 a year of premium based on 2021 numbers. He had a great year farming. Gosh, $300,000 for a single guy of extra income? That's amazing. But he didn't have any money on hand. And I said, where's all your money? Did you pre-buy a lot of stuff? What happened to all that money? And he said, well, I had a really bad 2017. And I had been carrying all of that debt until this year. And now I was finally able to pay some of that off. Oh, well, that explains it, right? So we made extra money, but it was going to pay past debt because that's how it is in farming. We don't know if we're going to have a good year or a bad year. And so I have to be super conservative. But we have to change the way we think about it. I'm not saying this to have bigger premiums. I'm just saying, if we can stretch just a little bit, that's fantastic. I am also saying, if you are going to put a small amount in, do not anticipate a major amount of money long term, right? Because that you just can't put peanuts in and get something else out. It's not going to happen. So make sure that you are thinking correctly. It's so funny now that I am on TikTok. So those of you listening, you can go check it out on TikTok if you want. But now that I've really been utilizing TikTok and posting a whole bunch, and it's really amazing at the comments of people who don't understand life insurance, which truly is the majority of us, right? Because nobody has taught us how to look at it. Nobody's taught us how it works. Nobody's taught us the difference between whole life, universal, variable, index. Some of us don't even know what term insurance is because a lot of young people have never been exposed to that. And so we have to look at all of it. We have to be educated about it. But it's funny how we just have such a broken thought process around life insurance. And people can't even get past the life insurance to understand the concept. Because the concept uses the life insurance as the tool, so many people are so stuck on the life insurance piece of it that they completely lose their minds. It's unbelievable to me. We lose our ability to think. And Nelson always said, it's all about how you think. If you are thinking that the premium is the problem, you're never going to have the solution. If I am saying the premium is the solution, what does that look like? Do you have to start a big policy today? Absolutely not. Do you want to start another one as soon as you get your feet wet and you figure out how it all works and what that looks like? Yes, you may want to. Because the more we can put in, the more we get out on the other side. I don't care if that other side is 30 years down the road, what we can use for retirement, income tax free. I don't care if that's what that we earn in compounding and dividends. I don't care if that's what we have in death benefit. But this guy that I was talking to this week still doesn't quite understand why he should have life insurance. But he also is like, oh, I want to leave some inheritance. And he put $6,000 of premium in at almost 50 years old. Guess what? That's not going to hardly get any death benefit. Well, then his inheritance, he was like, oh, yeah, it's kind of mediocre plus inflation. It's not even going to really keep up, right? If inflation stays at 7%. No, not really. It's not. But you put peanuts in. You're going to get peanuts out. If you want to accomplish something, you're going to have to put some effort into it. If we want to accomplish having a bigger operation, we need to put some effort into it. We're going to have to take a little bit of risk. We might have to give up some Parkinson's law so that we can what? Buy some more cattle, buy some more land. We might not be able to go out to eat. We're going to have to make some sacrifices. It's the whole point of Nelson talking about Parkinson's law in his book. And then what can we do inside that? What can we do with the money inside the policy? Or I should say, what can we do with the money outside the policy to create some unseen rate of return, unseen cash flow? You guys, here's the deal. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm holding up Nelson's book. If you have not read Becoming Your Own Banker, I would just like to ask why. Everything that we need to know is in this book. If you read this book in conjunction with my book, you should be able to completely understand what we're teaching here. You should be able to understand everything in Nelson's book. I just break it down in a little more simple terminology so that you really can understand it without a financial background. It just makes more sense. My book is how my brain works. My brain did not work like Nelson's, and I did not understand the book right away. But if you are like me and you want to read both of them, more power to you. But you're going to then understand why the premium is the solution, not the problem. If you are a client and you have a lot of money sitting around and you're not filling up your policies, why? Premium is the solution. If you're paying minimum amount, why? Because we're not understanding it. You're not meeting with me, right? If you are sitting on a lot of money and you don't have policies and you're using a lot of cash, why? Premium is the solution. You're going to have to capitalize. You're going to have to build your bank. It's going to take some time to get that going. That is part of it. That was part of your operation. That's part of growing your business. That is just part of it. Oh, I don't have access to all of it. Do you have access to all of it when you put it in a 401k or an IRA or a Roth? No, you don't have access to anything till you're 59 and a half. But you guys don't seem to be concerned about that. All I'm asking you to do is think. If you want solutions, we have to participate in the solution, or we're just going to continue to have problems. A lot of this is how we think, but I absolutely loved what my colleague had to say because he is 100% accurate. 100% accurate. We are thinking about the premium incorrectly. Now, if we don't have the correct policy, you have a universal, a variable, an indexed, I may say, you don't have enough premium going in. Now we do have a problem. But when you have the correct tool, there shouldn't be a problem. There should only be solutions. I have a client that listens to all of my podcasts. He schedules meetings all the time. He is like a little mini Mary Jo. He gets it. And I just talked to him this week as well. He can spit out everything that I say because he has listened and paid attention, and he is a student of the concept. Nelson also talks about use it or lose it. If you're not going to pay attention, you're going to lose the fact of why you're even doing this. And this particular person has 2, 4, 5 policies. 5 policies. That's a lot of policies. And that's a lot of premium. But he understands that all he needs to do is capitalize it very short term, and then he gets the rewards later. He's willing to give up Parkinson's law and beat I should say not give it up, but beat Parkinson's law in the short term. Okay, that was today's rant, education system. It sounded a little more like a rant, didn't it? But I'm pretty passionate about it because it just really hit me. And I'm like, oh my gosh, even with my own stuff, Mary Jo, quit being quite so conservative. Will I always be super conservative with you? Yes. Have I been, even in the last 2 weeks when I got back from Think Tank? Yes. Because it is my nature. But we have to think differently. We have to be conservative. We have to make sure we can pay premium. But do we have to play so small that we get absolutely nothing out of it? Not really. We need to just think differently. Said it again. Okay, you guys, if you have not gotten the book Farming Without the Bank or Becoming Your Own Banker, you can get both of them on farmingwithoutthebank.com. You can get them as a bundle. We can send them out to you that way. You can get just Becoming Your Own Banker. If you are going to get Becoming Your Own Banker from somebody besides us, say Amazon, be sure that you are buying that directly from the Nelson Nash Institute, because there are books on Amazon dubbing Becoming Your Own Banker, and they are not exactly Becoming Your Own Banker. They are a little bit less on Amazon than on my website, but hey, I pay a lot of money for Nelson's books, and I try not to even mark them up to make anything on them, just because I want to be able to pass those on to you. So if you do get them somewhere else, please make sure that you are getting them from the Nelson Nash Institute. All right. If you guys need anything, if you have questions, comments, concerns, email me, Mary Jo at Without the Bank, and I am happy to help you. If you want to hear a topic, let me know. I'm happy to do that as well. All right, guys, have a fantastic rest of your day, and we'll see you in the next podcast.